Alafia, Abaru, Aboye, Abosheshe, Agbo Ato, Asaru, Awodio Phone, Ikabo, Ikale, Ikasa, whatever review time you're viewing this video, faith that you're viewing it with good health and good peace, Ashe. Welcome to the ODU Study Group. I'll be your instructor, Baba Kuafa Jacomo Yokan. And this is the ODU Study Group of the African Traditional Religious Academy. Today we are continuing the Oyeku sessions and we're speaking about Oyeku Irosun. And I want to start off by speaking about the Pataki of Arumila, Ashe. And this Pataki speaks about Arumila, where he went and consulted Ifa, and the Odu that was revealed was Oyeku Irosun. And this is when Arumila has seen himself as Oyeku Irosun. And the Odu had prescribed to go appease the head, to honor the head, right? To bless the head with 2 coconuts. And at this point in time, Arumila was known for being the prophet to save the world, right? And we all know Babalaos are rich and they have a lot of money and they're well successful and everything is going good in their life. But at this point in time, Arumila couldn't even afford the 2 coconuts. He didn't have any currency to afford the coconuts. So he had to go into town. He had to go to the plaza. He had to go in the marketplace and beg the merchants. He went to this merchant, begged him, tried to come up with any type of way that he can get the coconuts. He went to merchant. He went to this merchant, right? And the merchants laughed at him. They mocked him. This man is supposed to be the energy that saves the world, right? Can't even afford 2 coconuts for a simple head blessing. So Arumila, he was embarrassed, right? He couldn't believe it. He was overwhelmed. So he left town. He left outside of town and made it to the outskirts. And he made it to an old man's house. Now, him and this old man, they had a relationship built. They would, share tea together, right? They would talk about the news and talk about the prophecies and the oracle. The old man was a friend and believed in him. So Arumila, he tells him about that he felt disgraced, that he was embarrassed. He couldn't even afford something simple inside of the town, and they mocked him, and they laughed at him, and they laughed him out of town. And the old man said, fear not. Don't even worry about it, right? Like, you're you. You are Arumila. You have your own destiny. You know what the true prophecy and oracle holds for you. You know you're the one who is supposed to save this world. You know you're the one supposed to save this universe. You know you're supposed to save this town. So he says, Arumila, he says, chill there. And he brings them different things like a mala. He brings them different things, right? And what does he bring them? He brings them 2 coconuts. So Arumila, he goes and he blesses the head and he feeds the head and he appeases the head with the coconuts, Ashe. So he was so pleased with the old man. He just decided to chill. He just decided to kick it. He decided to stay at the house, right? So the old man was off one day. He was off in the back doing, farm work and different things like that. And Arumila was feet kicked up, chilling inside of the house. And a knock comes to the door. And it is Oyeku. And Arumila says, hey, man, what are you doing here? And Oyeku says, you're not the one who is supposed to be entering this door. He says, why are you here? I am here for the old man. His time has expired. Arumila says, no, it cannot be. This is a good man. This is a man who has finally found his way in life by helping me. And now I am able to move forward in my journey, in my path. This is a great man. I can show you where good men does not live. And he pointed to the marketplace. He said, goes to this place. There's a handful of merchants who wouldn't even give me a simple coconuts. These are the individuals that you need to seek at this time. And Oyeku comes to the village and down to the marketplaces, and he takes all of the merchants. So what is this Pataki trying to tell us? It's trying to tell us many different things. The first things we have to understand is that the most simplest sacrifice is sometimes all we must give. Sometimes the most simplest item is all we need. And when it is time for you to understand when it's time to give something simple, or when it's time to find something and receive something simple, to not, do not ignore the advice of Ifa. This Odu of Oyeku Irosun reminds us of keeping us in alignment by remembering our spiritual obligations. Oyeku Irosun will also speak about the iguns and speak about the alignment or connection that we need for ancestral transformation. Because you have to understand that some of these burdens and tribulations, some of these problems that we are dealing with is older than us. This is generational issues that we're dealing with. So you have to figure out how to spend your time, even if it is with something with the most simplest form. You must learn how to spend your time alleviating that problem. You have to find out how to spiritually conquer that issue so you do not pass it on to the next generation. You have to understand that your job is to sacrifice for that thing so it does not live on into the next cycle. And that could be with future generations, Ashe. This Odu tells us that Ewe Pele, it determines whether you inherited blessings or you inherited turmoil, right? So that was these merchants that was inside of this story that sometimes by simply sacrificing something as simple as 2 coconuts, right? And I think nowadays we're talking about $6 or $7, right? And even if you were a coconut dealer, or even if you were any type of merchant and had coconuts with you, sometimes sacrificing the smallest thing for someone could save your life. So we must remember that Ewe Pele is not built by just being polite, right? It's not built by just trying to cheat your way through karma. It is the most simplest form will come each and every day, and how you decide to react, respond, and what you decide to sacrifice will ultimately save your life. Now, there was merchants that laughed at him. There were merchants that mocked him. And sometimes we just have to simply shut our mouths, listen more than we speak. The elder says that specifically in this time that there were merchants that didn't say anything. There were merchants who could not afford to give up the coconuts, so they did not, and they did not say anything. They did not mock, they did not laugh, they kept their mouth closed. Ashe. So what is this also reminding us? This also reminds us to sacrifice now for salvation later, right? And sometimes using our third eye, using our deepened consciousness, using our Odi, staying on path. See, as a merchant, as someone who is placed inside of the marketplace, your job is to serve. Your job is to deal. Your job is to experience and barter through those two. Ashe? So sometimes simply by having a little bit of understanding for someone's situation and blessing someone can go a long way. Ashe? So we spoke about Oyeku, speaking about death, speaking about the afterlife. And sometimes they say this is where the alignment through Oyeku Irosun will come in. Because Irosun speaks about the transformation of the ancestral world, right? So Oyeku Irosun is trying to keep us aligned with ancestral veneration. Ignoring the ancestral presence, ignoring your iguns is always the first step to misalignment. Because they are the ones who are going to send you warnings. They are the ones who is going to send the beggar inside of the marketplace to you so you can correct your behavior. So this is a Odu that tells us not to do not ignore the signs before tribulations happen. To sometimes sacrificing can save us, right? Sacrificing is a way to salvation for us. And this is why mainstream religions, Christianity, have taken out the understanding and the practice and the ritual of sacrificing. Because they understand what giving Ebo is. And this is what this Odu says, for us not to ignore the advice of Ifa and to give Ebo carelessly. Ashe. So I didn't want to take too much time. I just want to reflect on this Odu. If anyone has any questions or any comments, please load them down inside of the chat, and we will answer them as quickly as possible. Ashe.